So we all know that Punisher is pretty much the face of being an anti-hero when it comes to Marvel. He doesn't think twice about killing scumbags that he thinks humanity would be better off without. And that's just what makes his character so good, because he knows he sees the faults in his action, but he sees no other choice but to go down this path. But sometimes killing certain criminals is something many would agree on, and a moment like this is definitely true. So the comic starts out with Frank Castle showing up at a family's door and the mom answering. He tells her straight up that he knows she and her husband have been shooting, well, child PORN, don't really want to say it, with their own kids. Like, goddamn, that's pretty fucked up. And Frank tells her that he wants to make this as easy as he can on them and says to invite him in. Frank walks in and the dad walks out, and both are scared because of this man's, rightfully so. The dad tries to mediate the situation by telling Frank he can't just walk in here without a warrant, and Frank tells him that he has everything he needs. Frank tells both of them that he has all the evidence and that it's best that they just call their kids down, and that at this point it's the only good thing they'll ever do for them. The kids come down, 2 boys and a girl, and sit down on the couch while the parents go talk to Frank in the basement. The dad tries to explain themselves, but Frank tells him to shut up, and the dad goes on saying that they want to call their lawyer, but he simply tells them they're not under arrest. At this point, it's all Punisher from here, and he pulls out a gun and shoots the mom in the head, which freaks out the dad. He then shoots the dad through the mouth, and Frank just thinks to himself that someone should suffer, not just die. Frank continues to think to himself while watching the dad struggle for his life, and he simply finishes him off by shooting him in the head. Frank calls social services and waits until they get there, as he didn't want the kids finding their parents. And as he walks out, he remembers the looks on their faces. Frank thinks the girl will be alright as she's only 4, so she could potentially get past the trauma. But the look on the 2 sons' faces tells him otherwise about them, and that the damage was already done. And he thinks to himself more that he has a sinking feeling he'll be seeing them again in 20 years, as they might go down the same path. And the comic ends with Frank saying that there are times when he'd like to get his hands on God, but all this just shows how messed up Marvel can actually be sometimes. But if you did enjoy the video, then be sure to leave a like and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.